One thing that Bob Iger is endlessly trying to do damage control over is the fact that the Marvels had the worst MCU opening of all time in the Marvel Universe itself, and we know that there's a lot of things happening with this movie day by day as it continues to go in a downward spiral with no resolution in sight. Now, we know that Brie Larson and the rest of the cast attached to this film, this is going to carry on their careers forever, and it doesn't matter what the MCU does, it will, of course, always be remembered as one of the worst Marvel movies of all time. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, this is a constant debate. A lot of people are still kind of trying to decide which movie is worse, the Marvels or Thor 4, Love and Thunder. You know, I see a lot of people going back and forth about those two movies, but when it comes down to Brie Larson, we know that she has not been having a good year as of now, all due in part to what happened to the Marvels, what happened via Disney, and how they actually fired her from numerous roles, which, by the way, consisted of many cameos and even significant roles in future Avengers films and other solo Marvel movies. So we're going to be diving into the details about exactly what's going on with Brie Larson, and specifically what is going on with the Disney heads, such as Iger and the board of directors, and Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, the boss of all things Marvel, and how he is truly tarnishing the brand. So let's get into all of this. Now, what's interesting about this is the fact that we know that Brie Larson does not take criticism well. I always bring this up many times, that she really is a very thin-skinned actress when it comes to those that actually throw a lot of pieces of criticism at her films. Now, with Brie Larson currently dealing with the fallout from the Marvel's box office disaster, one major development has to do with her team, which involves her agent and manager that are now fighting against Disney after they fired and removed her at last minute from numerous roles in the Marvel Universe. Now, this consisted of both cameos and larger roles that she was signed up for by contract from Disney and Marvel Studios that Kevin Feige was informed by the Disney heads that part of their adjustment plan was by firing Larson from making appearances in Deadpool 3 for 2024, Fantastic Four for 2025, along with a handful of the Avengers films, such as Secret Wars and the Kang Dynasty, which is now getting reworked, and Marvel TV shows as cameos. All of these roles were lost recently as a result of the Marvel's box office disaster that took place and how it continues to get worse over time. Now, in addition to this, Larson is already preparing to take legal action behind the scenes with the help of her agent and manager, organizing this action that is likely to go nowhere. Her main complaint, as that, of course, of her firing from Disney, was based on loud and opinionated fans that encouraged the Disney heads to make their decision on what she calls a minority of fans complaining about her film and her performance. So guys, let me just stop here quick. Now, that's basically what Larson is blaming everything on about her firing and her removal from many Marvel opportunities, is the loud and opinionated fans and how Disney encouraged these fans by actually moving forward with really taking her off many of these projects. Now, honestly, I would have actually hated to see her in Deadpool 3. I think that would have actually kind of interrupted the film and would have single-handedly just destroyed the actual movie. And this is exactly why those, such as Ryan Reynolds and the rest of the writers of Deadpool 3, did not want Brie Larson to also make an appearance. So the fact that even the creators of the film were not welcoming her on board and never wanted her to begin with is very revealing. Now, the thing about Larson is that we know that this, of course, has been going on for a while now when it comes to her back and forth against Disney and how she caused a lot of trouble on the set for the Avengers and the Avengers cast. I mean, this is nothing new, and I cannot be surprised as to why she is moving ahead with her agent, with her manager, and really trying to gather up this legal plan to go up against Disney, to make all these claims that what they did was wrong, and it was all based on, you know, pretty much things that made no logic. That's how she sees things, essentially. So, in tune, you know, a part of this, we know that there's a lot of things going on with Captain Marvel as a character. They want to now completely move away from the character not just from Brie Larson, but from ever referencing her again in future Marvel films. They want to really just kind of shift away from all of that and focus on the new, and focus on these new different phases and eras, you know, what Kevin Feige is trying to do any way possible to kind of recover. And I don't think it's going to really resolve anything unless you write a very compelling, a very well-written story that has a lot of great character development and has no forced agendas. Then you'll be able, you know, you'll be okay. But let's move forward. Now, Larson and her career, which is already nearly dead and stagnant after many studios blacklisted her and her banished, of course, situation from several projects and opportunities. Her career was clinging to the MCU to live on, and it's this desperation from the actress that is making her move forward with these legal warnings and actions against Disney as well. Now, in addition to Larson getting fired from numerous Marvel projects, she was also banished from visiting the sets of future films and TV shows that include her friends and peers / colleagues that gave her permission and clearance to visit the sets from time to time. These clearances have also been removed from Larson, as she was planning to visit the set of Fantastic Four once they begin filming before its 2025 release date. And of course, Larson is already claiming to the Disney heads behind the scenes that she was wrongfully fired based on false backlash and criticism from a minority that doesn't present as the majority of the fan base, and was laid off due to the Hollywood trades making bold and inflated claims. This is how Larson sees everything and is informing those at Disney. Now, Bob Iger also is getting ready to do more damage control with this film in the coming weeks, as more Marvel projects will be announced. Brie Larson also is one that reacted negatively once Disney dropped her direct sequel to Captain Marvel that was planned to take place after the Marvels. This too is part of Disney dropping Larson practically altogether due to the failure of this film by director Nia DaCosta. Now again, guys, I do not believe it's a minority. The majority of Marvel fans and common moviegoers flat out do not like this movie if they have seen it, or refuse to see it based on word of mouth. For those of you that like it, that's fine. Some people do like this movie and found it quite entertaining. That's, you know, something that we really can't, you know, shift away from the truth, because that is something that people are saying. You know, we know that there's a handful of Marvel fans that will just love whatever, you know, Marvel comes up with, so to speak. And in this case, it may have very well been a story for them. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, and I welcome that below in the comments. But at the same exact time, we need to realize that it's not a minority. It is indeed a majority of fans that are against this film, hence why the box office is tanking. And let's not forget that they aimed this at the wrong audience. They aimed this at women. Even Nia DaCosta, the director, said that she aimed this movie to attract women instead of men. And, well, what do you know? Most men are the ones that showed up for this movie at, you know, the whole journey of this box office disaster. And even that didn't save the film. So that's when you know that this movie's truly in trouble. It's why I said you're gonna see this thing on Disney Plus in like a month and a half. You know, I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be that short, if not shorter than The Flash. It has a lot to do with the fact that Brie Larson cannot take criticism as a whole. So anyway, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.